Have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels? Putting in the hours, but the results just aren't there? Well, you're definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to unpack the blueprint to turn you from a passive student into an absolute academic powerhouse. Let's dive in.
So this phrase pretty much blew up on TikTok, right? But it's way more than just a meme. Being an academic weapon is all about having this fierce strategic drive. It's about being focused, super effective, and actually getting the results you want.
But here's the thing. There's a flip side to all that intensity. If you're not careful, the academic weapon can become the academic victim, sacrificing your health, your sleep, everything for grades. That just leads to burnout and, honestly, hating the whole process. Our goal here is to show you how to be the first without ever falling into the trap of the second.
So where do we start? We start at the very bottom, with the foundation, your mindset. Because before you even think about a study technique or a fancy schedule, your mindset is the belief system that's going to drive every single thing you do.
Okay, so it really boils down to two core beliefs about intelligence. A fixed mindset tells you that your ability is just static. You're either smart or you're not. But a growth mindset, that's all about seeing effort and strategy as the real keys to getting better. And look at how they handle failure. One sees it as a personal flaw, while the other sees it as like a diagnostic tool for how to improve.
And here's the real game changer. When someone with a growth mindset hits a wall, they don't just give up. Nope. They double down on their effort, they try a new angle, they ask for feedback. They get that the struggle isn't a sign that they're failing. It's actually the process of getting smarter. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. If you want to build resilience, you have to focus on the process. Praise yourself for the hard work, for trying a smart strategy, not just for some vague idea of being smart. That's how you build a mindset that can literally handle anything school throws at you. All right, once you've got that mindset locked in, it's time to build your arsenal. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, evidence-backed techniques that are going to make every single minute you study actually count for something.
We can basically group all the best techniques into three simple buckets: test yourself, explain to learn, and organize and connect. Let's break each of those down.
So this first step is all about pulling information out of your brain, not just passively cramming it in. I'm talking about quizzing yourself, not just rereading your notes for the 10th time. This means stuff like retrieval practice, using flashcards the right way, and grinding out those past exam papers.
Now, cognitive scientists have a name for this. They call it the testing effect, and it is the absolute gold standard for making learning stick. Studies show that actively retrieving information can boost long-term memory by up to 50% compared to just rereading. Every time you pull an answer out of your memory, you're not just checking what you know, you're physically strengthening that neural pathway. It is literally a workout for your brain. Next up, explaining to learn. The idea here is so simple but so powerful. If you can't explain a concept simply, you don't really get it. The ultimate test of your own knowledge is trying to teach it, whether that's to another person or, hey, even just to yourself.
The Feynman technique is the perfect example. You just pick a topic, try to explain it in the simplest terms you can think of, and in doing that, you immediately find all the holes in your own understanding. Then you just go back, fill in those gaps, and sharpen that explanation until it's crystal clear. And finally, we organize and connect. We've got to structure the information so our brains can grab onto it. Dual coding is just combining words with pictures, like drawing a diagram. Interleaving is when you mix up different subjects, maybe 20 minutes of math, then 20 of history, to keep your brain on its toes. And chunking is breaking down huge topics into smaller, more digestible pieces.
Okay, you've got the mindset, you've got the arsenal, but none of that matters if you burn out in 2 weeks. The final piece of the puzzle is the routine, the system that makes this all sustainable. This is what truly separates the weapon from the victim.
A really great routine isn't just about managing your time. It's about managing 3 things that are all connected: your time, your energy, and your attention. You can't just focus on one. You have to invest time in things like sleep, which builds your energy, which in turn lets you focus your attention, and that's how you get more done. So you gotta ask yourself this question. Is your daily routine actually serving you, or are you just running on autopilot? For most of us, if we're being honest, it's probably the second one. And that is a one-way ticket to feeling inefficient and totally fried.
So what does a sustainable day actually look like? Well, research on top performers, from athletes to scientists, shows that about 8 to 9 hours is the absolute maximum for high-quality brain work.
If you try to push past that, your productivity per hour just falls off a cliff. It's all about the quality of your focus, not the quantity of hours.
And these are the non-negotiables. This is the fuel for the whole system. You've got to prioritize sleep because that's when your brain locks in memories. You need to schedule breaks, guilt-free breaks to recharge. Get some regular exercise to keep your brain sharp, and batch all those little distracting tasks like checking emails so they don't hijack your focus. Remember, rest isn't the enemy of work, it's a vital part of it.
Okay, let's pull this all together. When you combine these three pillars, the mindset, the arsenal, and the routine, you're not just getting a few new study hacks. What you're really getting is a complete transformation of your academic identity.
Here it is, the whole blueprint in one simple formula. The right mindset, so you believe you can get better. The right arsenal of techniques to learn like a pro. And the right routine to do it all without burning out. That's it. That's the equation for becoming an academic weapon.
Let me leave you with this really powerful idea. Look, we all have goals, but a goal without a system is just a wish. It's the daily habits, the routines you build. That's what's actually going to get you the results. Your routine is your system.
So, my question to you is, what's your first step? Don't try to overhaul everything overnight. Just pick one thing. Are you going to work on your mindset, try one new technique from the arsenal, or maybe just make one tiny tweak to your daily routine? Your transformation starts right now.